Hello, everyone. I thought I'd finally get on the computer and get this assignment done. The audio analysis of a reading program. I thought it was a very good assignment and something that I thought that, I would talk to the college education about and tell them that they did a great job with this particular assignment. Um, the reading programs that we were supposed to choose from, whether a school district or community, was a tough choice. But what I wanted to do is I want to tell you the reading program I selected. Um, it's not part of a school. It's not part of a district, but it's part of a community, if you will. I selected a program called Room to Read. I know many of you probably have never heard about that, but Room to Read has a motto. It says, "We believe in world change." Excuse me, we believe that world change starts with educated children. Well, believe it or not, I think so as well. How does one ensure children are educated? Well, they invest in a child's education, no matter what. Again, what I've done in my child's education is I'm there for her to read as much as I possibly can, make videos like I'm doing now for her. But other things that they do is they invest in nearly 1 million children each year. I'm talking about Room to Read. And they're asking for our help, meaning mine and your help, to ensure that they continue to grow. And I'm going to read some interesting facts here in a few minutes so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the next question on here talked about key characteristics. From what I found, there are a few key characteristics about how the brain learns to read. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read these verbatim, and the reason being is because I don't want to give the wrong information. First and foremost, reading starts in the back of the brain, and it quickly moves to the area responsible for recognizing letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then to the areas concerned with meaning and pronunciation. These latter two areas are already in working order because children know how to speak and listen. Well, maybe not my daughter. Sometimes she's a little slow on that. So the task of learning to read involves connecting the visual system to the language system. And I thought that was quite interesting. And I thought and reflected on that, and talked to my daughter's mother, and I thought it was really good. The number two, learning to read changes the brain. Okay, the area responsible for recognizing letters, activities in literate people when they look at print, not those who haven't learned to read. It activates in direct proportion to a person's reading ability. Now, yes, I know that sounded confusing because it kind of confused me too, and I really can't give you a definitive answer on what exactly I was trying to say, other than learning to read changes the brain for the better. There are also changes. Number three, there are also changes in the visual cortex and the area responsible for processing sounds of speech, because learning to read is a large extent the capacity to attend uh, to the individual speech and to attribute them to letters. And then they connect, and these areas involved also change. And what they do is they make the brain stronger, reading wise anyway. Four, mirror reading and mirror writing reflect symmetry mechanism in this part of brain, which allows us to recognize faces and objects from any angle. When we learn to read and write, we must unlearn this in relation to letters. And last, number five, uh, in all languages, reading requires specializing the visual system for the shape of letters and connecting them to speech sounds, even in Chinese. Teaching the correspondences between sounds and letters is essential and is the fastest way to acquire reading and comprehension. Once the correspondence are learned, children can get on with self-teaching through independent learning. And this is I think this is a great idea. Um, the reading program being discussed is Room to Read, okay, which can be found on the internet. Room to Read is an organization that supports the learning of reading for everyone, especially children. There are no publication dates or publisher to identify. Instead, the organ identifies, um, instead, the organization provides opportunity for over 800 million people that are currently illiterate And of those 800 million, 2/3 are women and children, and girls rather. Here's a question that was raised on the document that we received. How could the reading program be used for classroom instruction and student learning activities based on knowledge and brain regions and specialization? Well, Room to Read provides a unique opportunity for all to enhance their knowledge base by trifold. Supporters can learn to reinforce what's important to themselves and others alike. Literacy is important. Inside the classroom, teachers can reinforce motivation, positivity, trustworthiness, creativity, feedback, and most important, responsibility. Okay, and this is just by supporting and believing in the cause. Can it be done? Yeah. Shall it be done? I believe so. As a reminder, 800 million people are illiterate. My familiarity with the program organization goes back to January 22nd, 2018. I spoke to my manager at Grand Canyon University for suggestions, and she gave me the Room to Read program as an example for all. She had mentioned that I'd find more examples of how the brain learns to read through those across the world. She was correct, as I found examples of many who couldn't read, but learned to read through positive examples and responsibility. Here are my major findings. Don't take what you have for granted. 2, read as much as you can. You can either use it or lose it. 3, mirror reading and mirror writing reflect the symmetry mechanism in this part of the brain, which allows us to recognize faces and objects of an angle. And last, teaching the correspondences between sounds and letters is essential and is the fastest way to acquire reading and comprehension. Once the correspondences are learned, children can get on with self-teaching through independent reading. Okay, so that covers what I wanted to cover for this particular assignment. I know I'm over on time, but this assignment was audio analysis of the reading program. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Take care.